Hello, and welcome to the Intermission podcast. I'm Fabian. I'm all alone again this week. I still got Vic though. Um, we're a Dallas sports podcast. It's definitely my fault. We're alone this time. I'm out of town, but I got all the equipment, so it's just me today. Uh, Obviously, different setup. Again, I'm out of town. But we'll keep it rolling. Sorry if the yellow's a little harsh. But we gotta live what we gotta live with. Um, Sports are dying off. You know, we're losing more and more topics. I'm gonna start having to talk about trade rumors that pop up every 2 weeks, every 2 seconds, here soon. But I'm gonna start off with the Wings. Get started with the Wings. The Wings had 3 games this last week. June 6th, we played the LA Sparks, another team that had been struggling. They were on a decent loss streak heading into this game. And of course, we were on a 3-game loss streak heading into this game. Sorry. Yeah, I believe a 3-game loss streak heading into this game. And it was a tough one. We lost 93-79, lost by 14 points there. We were at home. Dejounte Carrington led us in points with 16, and Louisa Gaysloder. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. I practice and I'm still confused. She led us in assists and rebounds, 6 assists, 10 rebounds. She actually got her first career double-double with those 10 rebounds and 11 points. So good for her. In the same game, J.J. Quinterly had her career high of 14 points. But ultimately, I mean, at halftime, the score was 45-40. It was a close game. But a bad start to the fourth quarter. We had 3 turnovers and 2 missed shots in the first 3 minutes, the start of the fourth quarter. And we just fell down behind, and we couldn't recover in that fourth quarter. Tough loss there. And then we played the Minnesota Lynx again at home. We lost this game 81-65, 16-point game here. Enrique led us in points with 26 and assists with 6. Maddie Seegers had 11 rebounds and led us there. Enrique had 6 3-pointers and again led us in scoring. Seegers, along with those 11 rebounds, had 15 points. Beckers had come out of concussion protocol, but with an undisclosed illness, missed this game as well, which was her 4th consecutive missed game. So, sucks not to have her for that. We had at the end of the third quarter, we actually had a 17-4 run that brought us within 1, and then again we lost it all in the fourth quarter. We have a really tough time closing out games, and it's an issue. After I sort of do these little recaps of the games, we're gonna talk about like what I think has been some of the issues we've been playing, and Isaiah sent me some of his thoughts, so I'm gonna go over those. This was our 5th loss in a row against the Lynx, and yeah, it was a tough one. Again, we came within 1 at the end of the third, and then end up losing 81-65. Yeah, sorry. Then we played in Phoenix. We played the Mercury in Phoenix. Becker's first game back. She got 35 points. A crazy amount of points for her. She also led us in assists with 4. Dejounte Carrington led us in rebounds with 8. Obviously, her first game after missing 4 games. She made her first 6 shots and finished 13 of 19. So she had an incredible game back. But not a lot of others did. have an incredible game. He's being the fourth rookie in Dallas Wings history to score 30-plus points in a single game. And Enrique was the last one to do that in 2019. The rest of the Wings combined for 16 of 48, 33% field goal percentage. DJ Carrington added 11 points and 8 rebounds. Again, led us in rebounds. Enrique had a pretty off game. She shot 2 of 10 for 10 points, so she got some free throws, but really had an off game, in a game where Paige was on one, and with this game, this was our 6-game losing streak. We've allowed 90-plus points in 4 of our last 6 games, 4 of our last 6 games, they've all been losses. So it's been tough. Obviously, again, with that stat, and this is Isaiah's first thing he said too, was defense is just not doing enough. The offense has been having a decent amount of success. Again, we're pretty much average. Like, if you look at our offensive stats, we're pretty much average, except for, this is my addition here. We actually lead the league in field goal attempts with 71.6, but we have the 5th worst field goal percentage, 41.4. And probably because of both of those things combined, we have the most second chance points. But with the amount of attempts we have per game, it's that field goal percentage is what's really hampering the offense, if anything. Again, because of the combination of having the most, even though we don't have a great field goal percentage, and we have good rebounders like we talked about before, our offense isn't bad. I mean, we're not, for the most part. We've had 1 or 2 bad offensive games, but our offense is doing work. They're putting up a decent amount of points. But against us, opponents have the best field goal percentage, 46.7%, and the second most 3-point percentage, 38.9%. So, sorry, I'm sort of a stats guy. So, we're, you might say, especially with 3-point percentage, you might say, teams aren't just be hitting better shots against us. But there are we do give teams a lot of open passes, open looks, kind of lackadaisical defense that you just see sometimes, where we leave someone open, whether it's in the paint or at the line. You do see that a lot. Isaiah has a lot of the same thoughts. He's saying that our shooting is pretty inconsistent, and we turn over the ball. We're having issues turning over the ball, and that happened in a couple games this week. Was a big difference in those games. And it's the same thing I pointed out earlier in I think the first week. They had a decent amount of fast break points off of turnovers. So, yeah. Obviously, the Wings are in a tough spot. They're now 1-10. Again, we have at the second and fourth period, we have a hard time. We have at least one pretty, I'm gonna say it, terrible quarter a game. But usually it's either second or fourth quarter where we can't close out halves, and we head into the halftime with a deficit, or we take it towards the end of the game is when we decide to have a bad run, and you can't make up a deficit when it's at the end of the game is when you get it. So it's just a lot of inconsistency from the team, where we have good numbers and good play for a decent amount of the game, and then we're just off for a while. But again, definitely, our defense is not doing enough. I mean, again, four 90-plus point games in our last 6 games. Obviously, we lost all of those. it's just not. You can't win like that. I mean, that's so in the WNBA especially. That's just such a big point total that you can't allow that many points and expect to win, especially not often. Um, yeah, maybe with Becker's back, some tweaks happen and our offense gets a little better, or maybe a little more cohesion comes. I don't know. I think they're still trying to figure out the lineup, but it's already 11 games of the season, and it's just not where you want to be. Obviously, we're 1-10. We got the worst record in the league. Excuse me. But yeah, it's our shooting has to get more consistent, capitalize on our volume of shots, and our defense has to get more consistent because I mean, the teams have the best field goal percentage against us, and a pretty great 3-point percentage against us. And again, in pretty much everything, we're either average or better. Everything besides the stats that I listed here, we're either average or better. We have, even including just field goals or, field goals made a game, points a game, free throws a game, steals, turnovers. So we're not the best or worst at anything else, but we had the worst record, and it's because of these three stats. Really, we're average in field goals made, but we're shooting more than every other team. So we have a pretty awful field goal percentage. And then obviously, whenever teams do shoot, even though our field goals attempts allowed isn't extremely high, our field goal percentage allowed. And again, you might be able to argue that teams just have good games against us. Maybe that's a little bit out of our control. I don't think that's the case. I feel like we do let in a lot of good looks. So even though their attempts aren't necessarily higher when they face us, excuse me, they're scoring just as much, if not more. I mean, a lot more actually. So it's definitely something we got to fix. I mean, it's been what we've been talking about the past 2 weeks. Is that we feel like the defense has been a little weak. I decided to take a little bit deeper look at the stats, and it's just, we're letting too many easy shots go, and it's what's really hurting us. We play, our next game is tonight against the Las Vegas Aces. They're 4-4. Again, we're 1-10. Isaiah's pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure we lose this game. The Aces are a decent team. Honestly, I think they're a little bit better than what their record says. Not too much, though. And, I mean, we just haven't been able to control the game so far this season. So, I don't see us winning this game, and I don't see us winning too many more games until we fix this defensive issue. And we definitely have no shot at the Commissioner's Cup. If you guys know what that is, I mean, we've played 4 of the 6 games, and we lost all 4. Even if we win the other 2, we're bottom half of a conference. You need to be the first one in your conference. So yeah, Commissioner's Cup. Just focus on winning the games for the regular season. But that's basketball. And it's just, again, for most of the game, it feels like we're playing pretty decently. We're playing pretty good even. And it feels like this is a competitive game. And then we have a bad quarter. We let in too many easy shots sequentially in a close proximity. And it's just not what you want to see in any way, shape, or form, you know? So again, I do think we're better than 1-10, but I don't think we're better than, we're not in the top half of the league. But I do think that our record is still worse than what we are. And maybe eventually we'll get to a record I think represents us a bit more, but even then, with the way we've been playing, it's not crazy to have the record we have. I mean, obviously, we have it for a reason. I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. Hopefully you guys know what I'm trying to say. Hopefully that made sense. But yeah. I'm going to move on to baseball. The Rangers actually had a pretty decent week this week. Let's go over it. We played the Nationals, and then we played excuse me. We played the Nationals, and then we played the Twins. Our first game against the Nationals was our 4th loss in a row, so that was a tough start to the week because we got swept by the Rays. So first game of the week was a tough loss to the Nationals. We lost 2-0. Corbin actually pitched the complete game, which was only 8 innings because we were at Washington. So he pitched 8 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. An amazing start from Patrick Corbin. Unfortunately, it didn't amount to anything. He only had 89 pitches, I believe. It was a pretty incredible start from him. Although obviously, the Rangers couldn't capitalize on it. He let in 1 home run, and there was another RBI in there. The Rangers only had 2 hits, 1 from Carter and 1 from Garcia, and couldn't amount to much more. I think we had 2 other base runners, maybe 3. I know 1 was a hit by pitch, and then 1 or 2 walks. But yeah, it was just a quiet game from the Rangers offense. Against decent pitching, but like really 2 hits is sad. But game 2 we won 5-0. DeGrom went out there, threw 7 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, 0 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. DeGrom has been insane recently. I mean, he's been Jacob DeGrom. The bullpen did their job. Luke Jackson and Chris Martin only allowed 1 hit between both of them, and no runs. Obviously, we shut them out. The top of the lineup did most of the work in that game. Sam Haggerty, Josh Young, Marcus Semien, and Wyatt Langford did most of the work. Haggerty had 3 hits, 2 runs. He didn't have any RBIs. He was the leadoff man, but again, 3 hits, 2 runs. Had good game from Haggerty. Haggerty's having himself a decent debut season, especially with this team. It looks like a pretty good one. Semien had 3 RBIs with another run, so he was 4 of the 5. Actually, because another run was off his error. So almost 4 RBIs, but 1 was off an error that Semien had hit, and the error was on that play. So he was responsible for pretty much 4 of the runs, and then he was the 5th run with an RBI from Garcia. So Semien had a great game in that game too. And again, that was pretty much those 4 runs were all the top of the lineup, but in different innings. We had 2 runs in the first, and then 3 in the 8th. Excuse me. So yeah. So a decent game from the offense there. Players that had a good game had a good game. The players that didn't. But it was enough to score points, and we only needed 1 to win that game because DeGrom and our bullpen did so great. Then game 3 against the Nationals, we actually had a bullpen game, pitching by committee bullpen game because of Evaldi's injury. So Latz technically started. He threw 3.1 innings and allowed 2 runs. And then Webb, Armstrong, Milner, Garcia all pitched 1 to 2 innings and didn't allow a single run. Smith, Haggerty, and Semien all got themselves a couple of hits. But Carter did the actual damage. He got 3 hits, 2 home runs. Not 2 home runs. A 2-run home run. Semien also got himself an RBI, and then Berger, towards the end of the game, had himself a solo shot. This was a pretty good game. Again, a decent amount of hits from the team, so a good game. And again, especially with bullpen game, saw some pretty great pitching from a lot of our guys in the bullpen. So again, we have amazing starters and we have an amazing bullpen. If our bats can get rolling, we can shoot up. We can shoot up. I truly believe that. And maybe I'm just feeling good because this was a good last week. Because again, in Minnesota against the Twins, our first game we won 16-4. Molly actually didn't have an amazing start. 5.2 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. Not bad, but not good. But he still gets the win. Armstrong, Wynn, Bushley all only allowed 1 runner each and no runs. Higashioka had 5 RBIs. Josh Young had 4 RBIs. Carter and Langford both hit a homer. Every starter had at least 1 hit. 7 of them had 2 hits. A great game from the offense. And in one of our worst pitching performances, I guess you could say, from a starter. But again, 4 runs is not a bad pitching. It's not a bad start. It's crazy that like I can say that one of our worst pitching performances is a 4 earned runs. But again, amazing game from the offense. 16 runs feels pretty dang good. Again, Higashioka and Young, 5 and 4 RBIs respectively. Feels pretty good. And again, every starter gets a hit. That's what you like to see. In Game 2 against the Twins, Leiter threw 4 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. Not a great start from Leiter there. And then Jacob Latz came in and allowed a 2-run home run to extend the lead for the Twins. We scored early with Josh Smith homer in the first and a Simeon RBI in the third, but we couldn't score more against their bullpen, and they ran away with it after that. We had 7 hits, just couldn't capitalize on those. 7-hit game's not terrible, and unfortunately we just couldn't get them when we needed them. I mean, you know how it goes. Honestly, I don't think this is a bad game. Lose 6-2. Yeah, it's not a bad game. I believe that. In Game 3, who pitched in Game 3? Because this isn't right. Excuse me. I found my notes incorrect here. Give me one moment. Give me one moment. You guys remember who pitched in Game 3? Patrick Corbin. Excuse me. There you go. In Game 3, Patrick Corbin, 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. Bullpen only allowed 2 base runners after that. Rangers hit a season-high 6 home runs. Again, every starter got on base. Seager didn't get a hit. He's the only one that didn't get a hit, but he had 2 walks. And Haggerty, he had 1 at-bat and got himself 3-run home run. He pinch hit, I believe, for Seager. Got himself a home run. Feels pretty good. And again, a great game. Again, these are mediocre to decent pitchers, but we weren't able to touch bad pitchers. And these last 2 series, and if you want to count the St. Louis series, we did some damage against mediocre to decent pitchers. We have yet to face great pitchers and do this, or good pitchers and do this, but we're trending in the right direction because we're getting better. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come and not a flash in the pan, right? But now this is 3 of the last 4 series where I would say we had at least decent hitting. Obviously against Tampa Bay, different story. But 3 of the last 4 series we had at least decent hitting. And I truly believe that. I got some stats to read off. Evan Carter, in the month of June, leads all of the American League in OPS with a 1.380. Jacob deGrom, in those last 10 starts, has a 1.62 ERA. Hasn't allowed more than 2 runs in that span. Amazing. Incredible. Carter, he's coming back. He's being his rookie self. Hey, maybe, my guy is back. maybe he's our little spark plug that'll get us going. I want to say again, the AL West is the only division in baseball that doesn't have a 40-win team. So that means, despite us being 33 and 36, and fourth in the AL West, we're only 5.5 games behind first, 4.5 behind, or actually, sorry, not 4.5, 1 game behind second and third, who are tied. So, we are still very much in this conference, in this division. And again, if this is actual momentum, I'm kind of hopeful we'll climb up that ladder. This next week, I think we will be out of fourth and get into at least third, if not second. Some other stuff that happened this week, we did sign Craig Kimbrell to a minor league deal. So that's something. And Evaldi, he's still dealing with his injury, his tricep issue, so he's still sitting out. Which means tonight's game against the Chi Sox, against the Chicago White Sox, Chi Sox, tonight's game will be another bullpen game. So we'll see how that goes. But if you're asking me, these next two series, the series for this week, play the Chicago at home. We're coming back home after a pretty decent road trip. Feels pretty good. We're coming back home. I think that this is actual momentum. I think we're coming home with actual momentum. I think that after losing the series to the not good White Sox, they come here and we have a actual, not motivation. We should be motivated every game, but we have that fire lit under us. I think we sweep this series. And for me to be super confident, I really that's what needs to happen for me to be like, oh yeah, for sure we're 100% back. But at the very least, we win this series. But I think we sweep this series. Feeling confident, feeling good. The White Sox obviously are not a great team, and we're feeling good right now. We have a lot of momentum. I believe this is actual momentum. After that, we play Kansas City, again at home. They're a very similar team to us, actually, Kansas City. They have terrible batting. They're like the only team. We're like the only team worse than them in a lot of categories. And pretty great pitching. If this is real momentum against Chicago, I'm hopeful that we can see a series win against Kansas City. I think we win 2-1. I don't think there's any situation where we sweep them. Again, they have some pretty great pitchers. So I don't really see a situation where we sweep them. I think we get shut down at least in one of the games. But our pitching is great and their batting isn't good. So they're going to be tight games, hopefully. And if they're not, hopefully it's because our offense decides to turn up. Because we have the capacity to be one of the best offenses in baseball. Again, that's why we've been so frustrated this season. So we'll see that. I think we'll see that. I think we win this series against Kansas City. I think we sweep the White Sox. I think we start moving up the standings, and hopefully momentum starts getting built throughout the season. We start seeing more wins in general, more runs scored in general. I think we continue our decent to good offense run, and I think we sweep the White Sox and have a good series against Kansas City. Excited to see it. Again, tonight's game should be pretty interesting with a bullpen game. We are more than capable of shutting down the White Sox, so excited to see it. But that's baseball. Hopefully I'm not delusional. Hopefully I'm not crazy. Hopefully the Rangers don't spark me with a little bit of hope just to blow it out. If we lose this series to the White Sox or get swept, my heart will die. But I don't think that's happening. I genuinely don't. So let's see it. Let's see it. Um, Moving on to soccer, just real briefly. FC Dallas didn't have a game this week. Our last game was still that tie to Philadelphia. We're still sitting at 4-6-6 and 11th in the West. We play Sporting KC tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes. But DTFC, obviously last week we made the playoffs. We talked about how we made the playoffs. We were going to play Tampa Bay. Unfortunately, we lost 2-1. We scored first off of confusing the defense sort of off of a corner kick. Ball went out of the box. We sent it back in. Put it past the goalie. A decent goal by Hannah Davidson, assisted by Dorsey. They tied it off a penalty in the 35th minute. Tough. We gave it a penalty. It was a foul in the box, so. But I hate penalties in soccer. But it's tough. You can't do that. Obogagu had a really good opportunity early in the second half that couldn't come to fruition. Their second goal in the 59th minute, genuinely a really good goal, really good team goal. You could see the build-up was really good. They definitely earned that goal. They went from near their box to our box, and some great passes, and they manufactured that goal well. And that goal gives them the lead and the win. It's a tough loss, but honestly, I mean, a pretty good season from DTFC. Again, we had the Golden Boot. We also had the player, I'm forgetting who got the award, but Best Young Player Award. Allie Thornton had the Golden Boot. We had a good season. We really did. And making the playoffs is nothing to be sad about. Next season starts in like 11 weeks. But yeah, it was a good game. And a tough way to lose. It was in Tampa. Maybe you can say that's why we did play a lot better at home. That's a real thing that was going for the Trinity this season. So, unfortunate loss, but what are you gonna do? You know. Yeah. Mavericks news, I guess, sort of. The Knicks asked to interview Jason Kidd, and the Mavs refused. The Knicks are shopping around for a decent amount of coaches. Who knows who they'll end up grabbing, but the Mavericks refused to let them interview Jason Kidd. That's really all the news I got from anyone this week. Nothing crazy new with the Stars. I mean, there's some trade rumors. Same thing with the Cowboys, and there's look at off-season camp. I really don't like reporting on anything that's not concrete. So that's about it for today. A little bit shorter episode, maybe. Much shorter episode. But I'm running out of sports to talk about. We'll start here soon. We'll start having maybe little segments to fill up some time. Plus, I was all alone. Again, this is my fault this week. But, yeah. Hopefully, next week we'll be back to normal. I'll be with Isaiah. But yeah, we'll see you again. Thanks for watching. If you liked, like, share, and subscribe, follow. There's the Instagram and TikTok in the description. We're gonna try. I've been saying it for the past month, 2 months, whatever. We're gonna try to see if we do any other videos. But yeah. That's this week. Video's gonna be a little late. Sorry, getting set up and everything was kind of a hassle over here. Entirely my fault, but whatever. We got to handle. We'll get the video out a little bit late today, unfortunately. But every Friday afternoon, check it out. Like, share, and subscribe, like I said. Comment. Big Buffalo. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks for watching.